Hey, it's Ronai. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning, Ronay.
How are you doing?
I am doing really well, thank you. How are you?
I am excellent. I am running around with my hair on fire in a good way. In a good
Because,
way. Well, because I was excited to print one book, not expecting that I would be able to print two, and it looks like today we will be sending two manuscripts to the printer instead of just one.
wow.
Yeah, I've been promising my third children's book. Grandma's got an oil for that for the last 2 years. And in December last year, I sent the manuscript to my illustrator. And then I got sketches. I got sketches back in February. And
Mm.
so I thought, okay. And then in July, I messaged my illustrator like, hey, remember those sketches? Did you ever like finish those? Normally, like once the sketches are done, I have the illustrations within a month. Like he's really fast.
Okay.
And I just was giving him time because, as I do. Um, and I didn't hear from him, and I didn't hear from him. And finally I was like, hey, I need to know what's going on because at this point, like I've got a deadline to get this to the printer because right now I'm like 3 weeks out. This now is a rush order. This will be rushed shipping. This is
3 weeks from convention.
Yeah, we're like 3 weeks from
Okay.
convention. doTERRA's convention is where that's like my biggest, that's where I sell my children's books, which are about essential oils. They're about how to use essential oils safely. I've got mom's got an oil for that, dad's got an oil for that, and this is grandma's got an oil for that. Each of the stories feature a different adult child combination showing different ethnicities, different abilities, showing that essential oils are used all over the world, which is pretty awesome. And it's hard when some of these things are just out of my control because not only are we through, like, he just got me the illustrations, but some of them were very wrong. And I was like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
like the abuela looks more African than Hispanic. And I was like, and there's some of this I can't. Michael was able of, and then there's this sweet, and I had sent a picture of this sweet grandma who is African with her grandchildren, and they all came back looking very light. And I was like, and thankfully, my husband's a graphic artist. He was able to go in and fix that. He was able
Do
to
some
do some
shading.
things, but this also meant a lot of work was put on him and he had to format the whole thing because Joey needed to edit it and then Michael needed to format it and just
I
not.
feel like those two men in your life are going to have new careers soon.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys want an amazing editor, like who catches all the issues, that's my son Joey. Like he's been,
Yeah.
I think I said this before, he's been correcting my college papers because I went back to college when he was I went back, yeah, he was 12 and he was correcting
Yeah.
my college papers and finding a good 10 to 15 errors and correcting them, and I'd get A's on my papers.
Yeah. No, I looked for errors. You had me read your other book, and I was looking for errors. I'm like, I want to find something. I'm gonna be a good friend. I'm gonna find something. I didn't find anything. I thought I found two things, but then I just didn't know what I was reading. It was my error. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not it. So, yeah,
Oh,
very talented, obviously.
yeah. So, that has been awesome. And then Michael's been able to go in, like he formatted both books. And I'm just last night I got a couple testimonials for the grandma's book. And so we're putting those in for the back cover. And it's really, really sweet. The woman who's on the front cover, her name is Betty Torres, and she didn't know. I contacted her daughters, and she's just one of these amazing people. I'm not on her doTERRA team. it doesn't matter. If you are in an area where she pulls in all of the leaders and she has us work together. And she's like,
Mm.
let's just build this community together. And I was like, she's the person, and she's gorgeous and she's fun and just, she treats me like I'm on her team. And so she didn't know. And then last night or yesterday, I posted the book cover and I was like, hey, I need a couple people to like read through this, check for any errors. They found just a couple. Um, and some of that is, I think when Michael formatted it, he changed a couple things from when Joey edited it.
Yeah.
And then somebody I said, and if you know who this is on the front cover, you know, like if you know, you know. And somebody was like, oh my gosh, that's Betty, and tagged her. And then she sent me a message. She's like, is that really me? Oh my gosh. And then what was really cute, I have a little tickle. What was really cute, and she goes, and oh my gosh, are those my grandsons? Like she goes, it just keeps
Oh,
getting better and better. So Betty, you are amazing. Thank you. If you ever see this, thank you for just being who you are, because you're awesome.
very cool. And then book number 2 is your Faithfully Unleash Your Strengths book, which I'm extra excited for.
Ah, yeah.
And that's ready too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Grandma's Got an Oil book, last year I was doing some fundraising and like that's all I have the funds for that. Here's the thing. I have the funds for that. And I was getting ready to reach out to somebody who had donated like a large amount to have that book printed. Because I was like, it's not coming through. So maybe I'm supposed to reach out to this person and say, can I use this money to print this book? Which I think this person would have been totally good with that. And the day I was going to do that, God was like, nope, because look, the illustrator started sending me all the, and I was like, I got all, and he'd been promising me stuff for a month and and he said he had computer issues and all sorts. I I don't know what was going on in his life. I just bless him for his beautiful work that he does. And yeah, there were some things, and normally I get them early enough we can go back and forth. I can have him fix some things and it's not a problem. But at this point, I was like, I just need them. And then Michael
Yeah.
said, I can fix some things. So I was praying about it and I was like, okay, then what's supposed to happen? And that's when God was like, and pre-sale. Like do pre-sales, reach out.
Yeah.
And then he gave me very specific people to reach out to. And I need to follow up with them today because if I can pre-sell 300, the printing is paid for.
Perfect.
If I can pre-sell 500, I can do a larger printing, right? So that's what I've been doing. And it's been a really interesting exercise in patience and in his timing, right? I talk about all this in the
Yeah.
book, and then I've been sitting here going, "Grr," and I'm like, what is
Which
wrong?
we're humans, so it's hard not to.
Right. And it was just so interesting once I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Because there's some other things that are going on in my life. I've been waiting for my mom's house to sell because I've put a bunch of her bills on my credit cards so that we could get her moved and I know the funds come back as soon as the house sells.
Right.
But the house has been on the market for what, 100 days? And I'm like, right? Again,
Yeah.
just that worry and again, having that conversation with God, why isn't the house sold? Because if the house sold, I would just put this on my credit card. And he's like, because that's not how it's supposed to happen. I put this on your heart to do. I'm gonna make sure the funds come in. It's not gonna like just don't worry about it. And I'm like, he's like, really? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So that's what it's been. And we're finding out some stuff with my mom that like if her house had sold, I have her truck here and I would have driven her truck back to her and she's got some things going on that really she shouldn't be driving. And if the truck were there, she would be like all of these things. God knows, right? Just like that example I gave I don't know, several months back that my daughter had her brand new baby who's just screaming hungry. And she's like, but he had just spit up all over him. His diaper was full. And she's like, I knew I needed to change his diaper and get him comfortable. And then like I would feed him. He had to wait like 1 minute, right? But we're these screaming children. We don't see the bigger picture. We don't see how much more comfortable we're going to be if we just let him finish his plan, right? And so
Absolutely.
I've just been sitting there in that the last couple days and so many blessings. So many blessings have happened this week. My daughter wrote me this beautiful song, which I'm not allowed to share on social media, otherwise I would be, right? But it was all about how the struggles I've been through in my life, I haven't passed on to her. And it's just this
Wow.
amazing, amazing, beautiful song. And I got that. And then I've had people who've sent me these testimonials on how my book has been such a blessing. Books have been such a blessing in their lives. And it's so funny because when I was in high school, I wanted to be like I wrote poetry all the time. And I thought about like, what if I grew up to be a writer? And then some stuff happened. One of my poems got printed in the school thing, but they left out like the most important line, which was a little controversial. And they say, "Oh, it was an accident." And I'm like, and that kind of jaded my
Mm.
writing. And then, life just gets in the way. And I was like, oh, why would I ever think that I could be a writer? And that's what it became. I'm for those who don't know, I'm dyslexic. I spell phonetically. There's a reason why my 12-year-old son was able to fix my grammar because, and if you look at my children's books, they're written from a child's perspective, but kind of how I write. But then this Faithfully Unleash Your Strengths book was God coming through me, right? Because half the time I'd be working on stuff and like, I remember sending something to Eddie and he goes, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can't wait to read the rest of it." I'm like, "Me either." Like it's been so amazing watching how something that was a dream in high school and then it just kind of disappeared. And then when I found out I was going to be a grandma, that's when I was like, well, we need a children's book about essential oils because that's, it's kind of like my thing. And there weren't any that I liked. And God was like, and here's a book. And I wrote that first one in an hour. Like it just, again, just came through me and I wrote and I first wrote it from the perspective of a child going through their day. And then it came to me, it's like it can't just be one child. It needs to be more inclusive. It needs to show that this is happening all over. And that's why it still takes you through the day, but from different kids and different perspectives. And anyway.
Very cool. Very, very good. Um, it's like a chicken soup for the soul series about oils. But not. It's like next thing you know, it's gonna be mom's got an oil, dad's got an oil, grandma's got an oil, the whatever. My chiropractor
This
has an
this
oil. My,
well, it's funny. This might be the last one just because I'm kind of
I
I
spoke
know,
too
I know.
soon.
But it may not. I've thought about Auntie's got an oil for that. Teacher's got an oil for that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
What a
there's
cool way to educate.
yeah. It gets harder though because I, I have to come up with different recipes, different ideas, and if it's coming from a child's perspective, you're still keeping it in that children's world.
Right.
I mean, I could do
I love the teachers got an oil for that. What a concept. Because you think of how things have changed within the school system and within teachers versus,
I gotta write that one next. I really do.
and
Because
then the child can bring the teacher, instead of bringing the teacher an apple, can bring the teacher like an oil for the first day of school.
yeah, my brain
Uh,
just like ticked off all the different things that teachers need. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that's
can
what I say.
I
It's
just
like a
birth this
chicken
one
soup for the soul
first?
series. Uh, well, that's really exciting. So then when you go to a convention, do you have like a Do people just know, or do you have, like, a vendor table?
So the last couple years, it's really cool because outside convention, you can get a sidewalk permit. It's like $43 to have a sidewalk permit, and you just set up a little
Oh, okay.
table, and then, at the end of it, you collect the tax, and I don't charge the tax, I just take that out of my stuff, I just there's a flat fee, and because it's easier when people are it can get crazy. Like,
Yeah.
there's been times when I've had, like, 10 to 15 people, like, trying to hand me cash all at the same time because they wanna get to their next thing, and I have a couple people that will come and help me, and you have these rushes, and then you have long periods of, like, nothing happening because people are in the different workshops and classes, and I like to go to the main like, the big when they're doing all their announcements, and then the rest of it, I will just watch later, on, because I get the recording too. And then I
Yeah.
can take really good notes and stuff. But, yeah, so I'll just have an outside vendor booth table, and so I'll have all 4 books, um, and, yeah, I just have it set up. I can take cash or I can take credit card or Venmo, and
And then Mel Robbins is your keynote this year, right?
oh,
Did
yeah,
I see
I
that?
will
I think I saw
yes,
that.
yes, I will be in there for the keynote because
Yeah. She's
that
great.
just will be amazing. In the past, like, doTERRA just does it they do it right. Like, they really take care of us, and, we had Hugh Jackman one year, and he also sang, it was amazing.
Well, and you had Hugh Jackman not just 1 year. You had Hugh Jackman, like, 2 years, but during, like, The Greatest Showman time when, like,
Yeah,
Hugh Jackman was back at, like, he was
yeah, yeah.
a
It was so
huge
good.
popular name at the time.
Oh, and Andy Grammer, like, they bring in these amazing singers that perform
Yeah.
oh,
He is
that was
so talented.
can I tell you, one of the things that I absolutely loved is when he sings, he just has this joy that is on his face, and it just shines through, and you're like, "Wow." Like, to have somebody who, because a lot of times singers get up there and they're like they do their thing, but he just
Yeah.
exudes joy.
Mhm.
It's like, "Okay, you're doing exactly what God designed you to do."
And it's joy through the music. He's not a big showman, like, there's no big show, there's no big it's just he it's just him and his piano. He plays piano, right, mostly? I've
No,
seen him play piano, and then maybe
I
and
think
then
Andy Grammer plays guitar.
and then I was gonna
Does he
say, and
play
he plays
piano?
guitar. I think he plays
He
both.
didn't at convention. I
Okay.
yeah,
I'm trying to remember, but I think he plays both. But,
I'm
and
gonna
that's
look
what I was
it
gonna
up.
say, and then he plays guitar. But, I follow
Does
him a
Andy
little
Grammer
bit.
play piano?
I follow him a little bit because
Yeah,
he's super fun to watch for that exact reason. He just sits and plays whatever instrument he's playing and sings, and there's just you can feel it.
yeah,
You can and he doesn't take anything more than that. So if you ever have any time, like, people should go dig into his songs. He has a lot of really good songs that nobody has ever heard of.
yeah. They are, I think my daughter's often inspired by him because 'cause she'll send me different songs, and she's like, "This one just, like, spoke to my soul today."
Yeah,
And they're usually very, very uplifting and just like, "You've got this" type of songs.
yeah, absolutely. I have several of his songs as, like, my favorites on I like, when I wanna have those uplifting songs, it's like, "Heart, heart, heart," like, always several of his songs, so very cool.
Yeah.
Well, so now let's not forget an important piece here. So you are doing pre-orders on your Unleash Your Strengths, Faithfully
Yes.
Unleash Your Strengths book. So are
Yes.
you gonna can you drop something in the comments when we're
Yes. Yeah.
done here
I will.
during here so people can pre-order? And are we doing a countdown? Do anybody are we keeping people up to date on how many we have? Like how close are we? What do we need
Shannon,
to
you know,
do, people?
my analytical is number 34.
Mine is number 18. So
Looking at analytics and stuff like that, no, I could, um what has been really cool though, I gotta tell you, and the numbers, like, I know people who could, like, fulfill that 300 order, and those are
yeah,
the people I'm working on. But I've had the people who I know are so careful with their money,
yeah,
and they are the ones that it just my heart is so full because 'cause they're like, "I placed an order." It's not much. And I'm
Wow.
like, "No, no, no, no." Like, every single order is so precious and important to me. And so for those people who like, every single order counts, and I will pray over every single book that goes out, and I think those are the ones that have just really meant something to me because they and some of these people, they're like, "Oh, yeah, strengths, whatever," but they're like, I ordered for you." And that has just really
Yeah.
meant a lot.
Everybody, I told my daughter this when she was going on her missions trip, and she was like, "How am I ever gonna get the money?" And I'm like, "Well, you're not. We're gonna share it with people, and we're gonna let God do the work, and you're gonna have people who support you." And she's like, "Why would anybody do that?" And I'm like, "Watch. Watch and see what happens." And we did, and the overwhelming support she got from people she's never even met, and I said, everybody wants to be a part of something
Mhm.
that can make a difference, and especially when it's someone that they know they can trust that is actually doing what they say they're doing and doing good with the money that they're given. And so it's like, what a gift when you get to support something like this. A gift to you, but a gift to the person who gets to support you and feel like I helped make that happen in
Yeah.
whatever
Well,
little way.
not only that, so there are people I know who can't afford it, but they're like,
Yeah.
"Ronay, I'm praying for you. I'm praying that this happens." That means
Yeah.
so much. So, things that people can do. Definitely, please pray. Pray, like, I really need the funding by the end of this week, right? So I'll get this posted. Last week, I was really late in posting this video, just because things started going crazy. I I put up I part of this is Eddie said, "Rhoda, you need your book to be more interactive, so put in some action steps, put in a QR code." I was like, "Eddie, QR codes disappear." He's like, "Put in a URL." I was create a funnel as I was creating I don't know how to really do this, so as I'm asking, like, "How do you create a funnel?" That I got suggestions, and one of them is you have to have a Facebook group. So I created a Facebook group, which Leanne normally does all the technical stuff for me, like computer type stuff, because I'm a people person. Like I would rather be in person. I would rather be rubbing oils on people. Like I want to make those connections, but I'm like, okay, I'll create it. And I even looked up like how to make like the little questions. Oops, sorry, I'm knocking stuff over. The little questions so that people can or can't enter your group because it's a private group.
Mhm.
And I invited you to be a moderator. I still haven't figured out how to make you a moderator.
I was gonna say you did, cause
No,
yeah.
I I figured out how to make Leanne an admin. Like, it took
Yeah.
me so long, like, looking through all the different things, and I was like, "Admin, yay." But I had set up the questions, and so people have to answer, and, I get up the next morning, it's a private group, and one of my friends, Nikki, had liked because I put a post in there with, the description of the cover. It has the picture
Mhm.
of the cover, and she liked it, and I was like, "Ho how did that happen?" And there's 18 people in the group, and I was like, "How did this happen?" So I was like I sent a Marco Polo to Leanne, like, "Leanne, like, I'm so excited that you're, like, on this and everything, but, like, I'm not ready. I was planning on starting it September 15th, and I have 50." I even created 52 weeks. I'm so ahead of like, I created 52 prompts from the book and, like, working and creating so I have it scheduled that I will do a live starting September 15th and then like create because I'm thinking people could possibly have the book in their hand. Hopefully, I will have them at that point for convention. And then I look and it shows that I've approved all these people. So
Oh, it's, like, automatically
it's
approving them when
automatic.
they
And I
fill the
sent
thing out.
so then I sent a message to Leanne who hadn't responded. Yes, I'm so sorry. I think it was me. but but I prayed about it and I was like, kind of, like, in this panic, and God was like, "It's go time. Like, there's
Yeah.
no more waiting on this. This book, you're like, this is how you're going to get this going." And he said, "Go live." in that group. So I'm like, "Hey guys, I so was not prepared for this. I'm so excited you're here." Like, and my husband's like, "Ronay, that's so unprofessional. Like, we need to start you need to start being more I'm like, "I'm just gonna be real. I'm just gonna be me because that's who I am." And I I will ask other people to do some of these things for me so that I'm not caught off guard anymore. But again, this is how it was supposed to happen. And God was like, and go. And by the end of that day, there's 40 people in that group. I haven't looked today because this is a couple days now. I haven't looked today to see how many people are in that group, but like, what a blessing. And so then I was like, okay, guys, it's go time. Let's pre-order this and you can shoot me a message and Venmo or PayPal. We'll figure this out, right? And Leanne goes, "Oh, you're cute." And she worked really hard
You're
at
cute.
that's what she says to me all the time. "Oh, honey, you're cute." So then she worked really hard and put together a quick website page with and we figured out like she connected it to Stripe because I have Stripe so that people can
Mhm.
order my other books and we got that all set up. Now today I'm gonna be like, "Hey Leanne, we need to put the grandma page up because people can pre-order that now too."
That's so great. Uh, so this 52-week thing, now something for you. Okay, I know your cup's a little full, but I'm just gonna throw this out there because I keep praying about this and I keep getting. I think this 52-week thing you'll have to keep in mind if this could be like the companion devotional or workbook. Because I know the book needs one. I'm just saying
No,
the
no,
book
no. Leanne's already Leanne's already
because I know
told
I asked you about this before where I'm like, we need like a Bible study or devotional or a something workbook that goes with this.
we're already working on it.
Perfect.
But it wasn't just you, it was Leanne was like, "And by the way, you need to have" I'm like, "Yes, I know, I'm working on it. I just don't know how to put" she goes, "I got this." And so she's been helping me put together a workbook. I will be very excited when I can just hire you both.
Well, I like this 52-week thing. Like what you could I mean, you could have both. You could have a workbook just for working through the book. You could but you could have this 52-week devotional companion. And then I mean, I could have it. If you could just make one for me. If you don't want to make one for the world, if you could just send me the rough draft so I can.
So, the companion, it just goes by chapter. Like
Yeah,
there's assignments in each chapter, and so the workbook goes with each chapter. But the 52
yeah,
weeks also includes like there'll be some that are more for like I included like some holiday type stuff and just so starting September 15th, it will be very we'll be going with the year, the season. It won't necessarily go in order. I mean, it kind of does. Um, I need to look at it again because of course I looked at it last week. I haven't looked at it yet again because that's not supposed to start till September 15th. And so I'm making up stuff between now and the 15th. And again, we make plans and God laughs and says, "Oh, you're cute." And we have choice. Like I have
yeah,
absolute choice in this. And I'm choosing to say yes and amen because why wouldn't I? That's how this whole thing started. I'm
right.
like, okay, I don't know how to do this, but you know what? He does. And so I'm just trying to be faithful. And even when I panic a little, he's like, it's okay. I got this.
Yeah,
And that's been one of the coolest things through this whole process. I keep going back and that moment of surrender at faith over fear because I need to pull that feeling in. So if you've ever had a moment of absolute surrender, could have been a super dark moment, but then you felt the light. That's what you need to come back to every time something comes up that's super hard and you're like, how am I going to do this? And I don't know how to do this. And you said, well, yeah, God will say things but it's up to us to surrender into his timing.
yeah,
So it's been crazy.
yeah. God's way is always best. God's timing is always right.
Yeah. It's exciting.
It
Uh,
is. It's an amazing journey to watch you go on from the backside as your friend and from the front side seeing everyone excited for this book and the world, the world needs this book. And um you didn't have to say yes. So it's incredible that you did and the world's going to be a better place for it. So,
thank you. Thank you, thank you. And thank you for being right here alongside me as all this craziness has been happening. You're first off, such a good friend, but also such a good guide as I've been like, so this happened, and you're like, yeah, let's talk about that. Let's, can you see this side of it? Or,
yeah.
if not for you, I never would have thought about teaching strengths in marriage classes, which is not only
Mhm.
turning into a strengths in marriage class, but also a singles class for people who want to find their partner or those who are preparing to get married that can come as a couple. Like I'm super excited about that class, right?
Yeah,
And then
me
that's
too.
turning into some other classes that I'm like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah, when you do that, strengths of marriage, preparing for the journey type class, um, we're going to I'm going to pay for my daughter to do that class, and I'm going to let her know that um she needs that you need them to attend to be part of the I'm going to if necessary, I'm gonna guilt them into showing up more as a not guilt, but more as a like, could you do this as a favor? If they're not gonna, because you know, my daughter, bless her, bless her. But she kind of knows, she kind of is like, I got it, mom. I already know. I got it. I got it. I got it. So sometimes I have to kind of backdoor things where it's like, hey, can you do this for my sake and not for yours? And then, yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course,
And
I'll
she's
help
a
you out.
relationship builder, isn't she?
Um, She is. I wouldn't it's interesting. I need to have her take the assessment because I wouldn't have said that about her at one point, but she is. With the right people. She is a very deep relationship builder and
The
with a
relator.
small group of people.
Yeah.
And yeah, but at one
Relator
point
high.
I would have told you she's not a people person at all to any degree. And God has really brought that out in her. And but she also is like, and now I'm done. I'm closing my door. Don't talk to me. I need to like I'm done. My peopling is we're over. We're out. Like don't call me. I need to go nap. Like it feeds her and then it exhausts her and she just has to give time to herself to replenish because she gives so much in that capacity.
Huh. So I wonder if that's like a relationship builder, strategic thinker, where she needs time to think, create, and or learn. So like she just
Yeah.
kind of, but sometimes executors are that way too. It's so funny because you try to
Yeah.
guess and then all of a sudden the report comes and you're like, whoa. Like my son
Yeah.
Joey, I think he's got, and I have to look at his report again, but I think he's got like 6 relationship building. And I'm like, that's so crazy because I'm trying to look for his really quick. I had it over here the other day. Anyway, um, but when people have that many relationship building strengths, but they have relator high, you don't think of them as a relationship builder because they may be hanging with 1 or 2 people, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, relationship builder, well, that's got to be tons of people. Or like my daughter, who's an extreme introvert, but she has all these relationship building strengths. And so when I told her she was a relationship builder, she's like, Mom, I don't, I know. And I said, but you have relator high, which means, and she has
Yeah.
had the same best friends pretty much since kindergarten. She's got one
Mm.
that she's known since she was 7 and Emily was 6. And the other 2, I think maybe they came in, no, it might have been elementary school, middle school, but they're still besties. And it's just been so fun to watch that. But all of the other things were the caregiving and the nurturing. And I'm a 5 relationship builder,
Yeah.
3 influencer. So I, but I'm an includer. So it's like everybody's invited to the party,
Yeah. I'm
which,
not.
yeah, no. and when you have those, so you're one of those people that it's hard to pick out as a relationship builder, except you're kind, caring, giving, nurturing. Like there's so many things
Yeah.
about you that scream relationship builder. So,
And, and you think about it and I was thinking about this earlier when you said it, you go back to faith over fear, and we've talked about what a life-changing event that was, just spiritually and directionally in our life, but in our friendship.
yeah,
You and I have known each other for we met through Action Coach. We were both doing business coaching there. You were vendoring, and we met, it was like wasn't quite 10 years
almost.
ago. We started with Action Coach in 2016, so it had to have been right around then because you were a vendor, like, so we're talking 9 years ago. And so you and I had known each other for a long time, but it was always like we had you come into our business and talk about oils, and you were my oil person. And I've texted you on and off over the years, and kept in contact with you. And I don't even remember how I started working with strengths with you. Like, I don't remember how
Well,
it started to
you
go a little next level.
because you came in as an emotion code client also.
Yeah, I
And
just don't remember how I learned about it to come
because
in
I told you about it during one of our sessions. I was like, "Hey, it'd be really good if you knew your strengths so that there's some other things that we can help release." And that happens a lot of times when I'm working with because I do emotion code, which is now turned into holistic alignments, which is a combination of emotion code and a little bit of hypnotherapy with a lot of discernment and a little bit of the alignment effect. Like there's all these different modalities that I've pulled together as God has said, and add this in and add this in and oils but I'm sure during one of our emotion code sessions, I was like, hey, like it would be really helpful if you knew your strengths. And
yeah.
then that led to, and by the way, you should check out Eddie Villa if because he's just amazing when it comes to strengths. And um, yeah, so that would have
But
been
it was
the last 5 years.
but it was still on a we didn't talk outside of that. The only time we talked outside of actually having something like scheduled was I would randomly message you and be like, "Hey, what oils do you use for this?" And I don't even think I'd be like, "Hey, how are you?" I'd just be like, "Hey, what oils do I use for this?" And then and then so and then God led you to contact me
Yeah.
to go to faith over fear with you.
Yeah,
And it was like a game changer
that
for our
was so
friendship.
weird too, because I had met Ray Higdon the month before Faith Over Fear at an Eddie Via live event and Mark Harbert. And from that event, I was gifted a free ticket. And then I was gifted a second one. And it was one of those where I was like, I need to go, but financially working on different things. And Michael's like, well, if you can figure out where it doesn't come out of our budget. So then I worked out some energy work with somebody else. And then I was like, who would I want to stay with? Like I had someone who offered, and when I prayed about it, it just wasn't right. And I was praying, and your name just came so clearly. I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So I'm like, hey, Shannon. So I was praying, and I have this ticket, and God said I should invite you. Like it was just one of these kind of
Yeah.
awkward things, and you're like, well, who am I to argue with God?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not gonna question that. I mean,
And
maybe with some people I'd question that, but I'm not with you. I didn't question it.
it was just so
Yeah.
this was never on our radar.
No. No. And how funny is that that you were faithful? I mean, think about it. We really hardly knew each other. You had no idea what sharing a hotel room with me was going to be like. Like we did not know each other anywhere close to that level.
No.
So for you to invite me was a big move, and then for me to be like, "Sure, let's go." was a was a big move too. So, I don't know. It's always fun to see how God sees this big picture and knows, and how he brings people together, and in what ways. It's
Yeah,
been an incredible journey so far. It's just beginning.
absolutely.
I talk like it's the end. It's like it's been an incredible journey, end of the movie, but it's like just the beginning. Like just starting.
And on that note,
That's right. On that note.
absolutely. I I think if more people were just to say yes and like
Yeah.
I was a theater major, and so improv, it's a yes and.
Yeah.
And so that's how I've just been trying to have this relationship with God is yes and okay, what's next? Like
Right.
I don't
Not yes, but
correct. And when I
yes
go, but
and
he goes, really? Like so for me, because at Faith Over Fear, when I could hear God speaking, and I was like, "Why do you sound like me?" And he's like, "Because I'm in you." So
yeah.
sometimes God's a little sassy because of, and I have to go, "Is that you or me?" And sometimes it's me, but a lot
Yeah.
of times he's like, "Really? Like you're gonna question me on this again? Haven't we already had this conversation?" And I have to go, "Okay, yes, I'm sorry. Is I shouldn't have said but, I should have said and." And,
Yeah.
that's been super cool too. I'm gonna tie in again, the Brilliant app is from learning from the Brilliant app from Ray and Graham Cook and, like, all of this stuff that's been happening since Faith Over Fear is having that better relationship with God that I can have this teasing conversation like I did with my dad, right?
Yeah.
My dad and I had the best, and so then it's like, okay, so I don't have to look at this as God is this I don't even know, like this cloud that just no, he's my dad. He's a
Yeah.
father who just wants to have that fun conversation. He wants to have a relationship. And if that means I'm going to be a little sassy and he's going to be like, "Hey, hey, hey, hey," like not disrespectful. Like
No.
I was you don't I didn't disrespect my parents. Why would I disrespect God? But I definitely was sassy. And so,
Well, God speaks to us in the way we listen.
yeah.
God is unique. The way God speaks to you isn't going to be the way God speaks to Joey, or
Mm,
isn't going to be the way God speaks to Michael. God created us each uniquely and communicates with us each uniquely in the way that we can build a relationship with him.
yeah,
I mean, his lessons do not change. The word is the word, the Bible is the Bible, the promises are the promises, but how he will interact with you and communicate to you is always going to be in a way that resonates with you. Just like a parent to child. You don't communicate with all your children the same because they're not the same, and you love them equally and want them to hear what you have to say and be in relationship with you. So you adapt to what they need and how they
absolutely.
will hear you. So
Absolutely. Wow. That is a
he's
beautiful
amazing.
way, I think, to end today. That God speaks to each of us individually, and the way you hear him is going to be totally different too. So,
Yeah,
um, make sure you're listening.
that's the key.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
Bye.